Hello, everybody. It's the old bear with the old bear's den of Bigfoot. We got some new additions here at our house, so we decided to let you all have a look at all the little kittens. There's 5 of them suckers. They're all cute, as my wife says. She's already fallen in love with every one of them. Anyway, tonight we have a story from the great state of Colorado. Now, this is a telling about an interaction that a person had. He works for the state of Colorado. He's a game warden, DNR officer, whatever you want to call him. And he got a call, a couple of calls last year about some strange noises in the Colorado mountains around Montrose. And he will stay, his name will not be given, other than he was called in the Montrose area. If I told you exactly the area that he was in, you would know what game warden it was, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just giving you a general city that's close enough to say it was in that area. Anyway, he got a few phone calls about some strange noises, and he went and checked it out, didn't hear anything, and it kind of piqued his interest, so he kind of checked on it up until about December, and he never heard anything. Then he went up there in the middle of December and he heard something. He knew it wasn't elk bugling, so he didn't know what it was. He started checking into it, into the sound that he heard, and he came up with an idea that it was something that walks around on 2 feet and has his hair covered. He mentioned this to his supervisor. The supervisor told him not to worry about it. They'd check it out in the spring. Well, turkey season, I guess, started out there in the spring, and a couple of hunters said they heard something before daylight, and they called the game warden. He went back. He never heard nothing. And the supervisor kept telling him, don't worry about it, it's just them guys' imagination, don't worry about it. I guess he was trying to get him to quit checking into it. So the supervisor finally told him, said, look, he said, me and you'll go up there sometime here after turkey season's over, and we'll go out there and check and find out what's going on. So something like a month went by. Their turkey season ended. Him and the supervisor went out there one afternoon around 2 or 3 o'clock. And as you know, it don't get dark till about 7, 8 o'clock now, somewhere around 9. And they were up there in the afternoon and checking around and looking around and seeing what was up. Well, the supervisor took the high path going through there, trail going up around the side of the mountain, back into a little holler, as we would say here in the east, and in the south, that's what we call them. We call them hollers. We don't call them hollows. They're hollers. And as he was checking around, he took the low road going through the bottom of the holler. And all of a sudden he heard something, same thing he heard back in December. And he looked up the mountain and he heard some kind of commotion, and he heard his supervisor scream at him. And when he screamed, he heard somebody running down the mountainside. And here comes his supervisor, just going as hard as he can down the hillside. Now this has got timber on it, and lodgepole, pine, and stuff like that on it that they'll stay in. And the supervisor come down the mountainside and come flying past him and said, "Let's go," or screamed something at him, he said. And after he screamed at him, his supervisor went flying back out towards, was running as hard as he could to get back out towards the truck that they came in. And he looked back up the mountainside, and lo and behold, there was something standing up there on 2 feet, very tall, very big, wide-chested, long hair from what he could tell from the top of his head all the way down. So he took off running towards the truck. He passed his supervisor, got to the truck first, opened the doors, jumped in, and put the key in the ignition, and the supervisor jumped in, and they took off down the road. Well, after they got out of the area, he pulled off on the side of the road. And after he pulled off on the side of the road, he asked the supervisor, "What the heck did you see?" He said, "Don't ask questions." He said, "Don't worry about it. We'll get it taken care of." And that was all the supervisor said. So let's not talk about it. So they got back to the office. Supervisor went in his office, called, made some phone calls, and came out and told him to go on home, to go home for the rest of the day. Don't worry about, when he was supposed to get off work. Supervisor's going to take care of his time and everything. So they just sent him home. A couple of days went by, and he mentioned something to his supervisor again about it. And the supervisor told him, said, "Don't bring it up. You don't want to do that." Well, another week went by, and then he went back up there to see if he could hear the Bigfoot in there screaming again. And he ran into 2 guys that were up there. They was just up there walking around in camouflage, and said they were up there looking around for elk. He thought it was kind of strange, it'd be kind of early to be doing that. The season don't come in until August and September and October there. So they went through that process, and him asking them who they were, and them not telling him really anything, and so he went back to his truck, got in his pickup, and his phone was ringing. Well, his phone started ringing, and it was his boss. It was his supervisor. Told him to get in the office right now. They want him in the office right now, this very moment. It was urgent for him to come in. So he did. Got to the office, and then the supervisor's boss was there. His supervisor. Jumped up and down all over this guy, told him he was told not to go back out there, to leave it alone, to not get into this. And told him if he did, they threatened him and told him they'd have to fire him. And maybe prosecute him for dereliction of duty or some other stuff that they can come up with. So this guy called me. Told me what's going on. So see, the government knows. They're just not telling anybody. Some people in the government know. Some of them don't. But this guy knows now. And he got threatened with the loss of his job, loss of his freedom, to keep his mouth shut. And that's why I'm not telling you who it was. That's why I'm not giving you a specific area. I'm not going to be the cause of him losing his job and his freedom. We've had enough of that in this country in the last few months with this COVID scare. Just about every governor in the nation needs to be arrested for violating everyone's civil rights. Every governor they have, not a governor in this country has the power to tell you to stay at home, to close business. They don't have that power. And yes, people, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in what the U.S. Constitution said. It was given to us by God. It was given to our forefathers by God. And He meant it. And that's what we're supposed to be governed by, is the U.S. Constitution. They're an inalienable rights that we have. And every governor and every cop that has violated your civil rights needs to be in a prison. They need to be poor and destitute when they come out of prison. They should not have any money. Every person should take everything that they own and have gotten in their lifetime away from them. Then they'll know what they have done to the American people, and that will set an example for all that try to take away your constitutional rights that were given to you by God and guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. Now, I know that's my little tirade. You can leave the channel if you don't believe that. And it won't hurt my feelings. Nothing will be said by me. Y'all can chew me out for saying what I said, but that's how I feel and that's how I believe. And that's how my wife and I both believe. That's how my buddy that investigates with me believes. So we're like-minded, and if you're a like-minded person, you're more than welcome to stay on the channel. And if you don't, have a good life. That's all I can tell you. We're still praying for everybody to be safe out there. I know this virus is a scary thing, but quit worrying about it. Your day that you're supposed to die is predestined by the God. It's determined by Him, not by some doctor, not by some lawyer, not by some politician. I hope each and every one of you are doing well, and I hope you enjoy the kittens running around and mommy feeding the little ones. And we love each and every one of you, and we hope and pray that you're doing well. And we will talk to y'all later on the next video. The next one's out of Alaska. So have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.